I'm Mark Radisky, and I'd like to welcome you to the very first broadcast of KHUB TV. This is the first of an occasional series brought to you by the faculty in the Tech Hub. Each series is going to focus on a particular topic of interest in online teaching and learning. This time around, we're looking at the use of media in online courses. We want to know who's doing cool things out there, what the resources are, and how you can go about getting help to make things happen in your courses. But I've watched Jay Leno enough to know the importance of starting off with a good joke. So we have one sent in here by Wayne Barber, math faculty member. And it says, "What did the fish say when he ran into a concrete wall?" Damn. Thanks, Wayne. You can keep those coming. Anyway, to help us sort through some of the issues connected to the use of media in online courses, we've invited a guest from Chemeketa's viticulture program. Please join me in welcoming Pat Lundeen. Welcome, Pat.
Hi, Mark.
Thanks for coming.
Sure. Glad to have
you. You know, Pat's doing some really interesting things in her online courses. But another reason we invited her is because she always brings along a case of the program outcomes. So immediately following this broadcast, there'll be a hosted wine bar here in the Tech Hub, and we'd invite you to join us. Come on down. So, Pat, tell us a little bit about what you do in your program.
Well, I teach at the viticulture program. My course is called Wine Industry Exploration. It's VMW 102. And what I do is take students out to meet with owners of businesses in the wine industry, everything from vineyards and wineries to retail wine shops, marketing and distribution. The purpose of my course is to show the students how the industry segments all fit together, starting with growing right through selling.
Sounds like a fascinating course. What were you trying to accomplish with media? What were you hoping to do for students in that course?
When I first created my course, I had it on eLearn that first year with the idea of having more direct contact with the students. Also, we take students to meet with winery owners and lots of business people that are in the Chemeketa catchment area, including Yamhill County, but there's many of the individuals in the wine industry actually that have their business in Portland. And I knew I had students potentially outside of the Chemeketa area, so I thought if I could convert my course to hybrid, I would potentially get more students. So those are the two reasons.
What were some of the challenges you faced as you tried? I'm assuming you did some filming and so on to try and duplicate the face-to-face experience in a hybrid course. So how difficult was that? What were some of the challenges?
The challenge for me is I had to learn to use the eLearn software package for faculty, and that took a fair amount of time, but the Tech Hub does have full-time faculty that spent all the time I needed to learn how to create my course. And over the last 4 years, I've taken all of the workshops that are offered by the Tech Hub about adding different kinds of media, and I would just begin trying by filming using my small digital camera, just the film selection on the dial. And with the camera I have, I can get 14 minutes of film on one flash card. And I really try to keep my filming to YouTube quality, something under 10 minutes. That's some of the problems and some of the tools I used.
You know, it would probably be helpful for the audience if we could step into one of your courses and see what these things look like. Would that be possible?
Sure, I'd be glad. Let's go over and look at my course on the computer.
Excellent.
I'd like to show you some examples of how I've used media in my course. The first thing I'm going to show you, I have a field trip 4 Saturdays where I take the students out to meet with owners, and I've used feature in eLearn that allows students to be assigned to a group and then sign up for the van. I also, for students that are not taking the van, I have directions for how they can drive themselves. And so the first example will be, I used a software called Jing, which I've actually captured the screen of the home page of my course and stepped through each of the pages for the students, showing them how to sign up for the van and how to do get their own directions. Now I'm going to talk about the Saturday field trips. Under here on the first home page, we'll go over with the cursor to field trips, select that. And here I have placed the site visit directions. If you select here, you'll see the directions to the first site visit, second, third, and fourth. The second example I have is a film clip. I used my small digital still camera and the feature on it that lets you take films. And if the students hadn't ever participated in a harvest, don't know what it looks like, I took film clips and still photos of the activity. They weren't stopping for me. I just filmed whatever I was able to capture, and then I went back and edited it in the Tech Hub and was able to put together a film of first crush, and that's what I'll be showing you next.
We have people on both sides sorting the fruit as it goes through there, make sure there's no leaves.
The next example is one of more than 12 interviews that I did using film clips. This is the problem I was trying to solve, is the number of professionals in Portland that work in the wine industry, that's too far to take a site visit for the students on a Saturday. And so I contacted a number of professionals and asked them if they would let me interview them and film it so that I could show the students. And I asked the same questions to all 12 people I interviewed. So the first film clip I'm going to show you is Dixie Huey, and she actually is in the faculty, adjunct faculty for the viticulture program, and she'll explain that in her introduction. But it's a good example of how I captured the film. I didn't do any editing. I just did an introduction and put it up on the Breeze server.
My name is Dixie Huey. I own and operate Trellis Wine Consulting, which provides branding, strategy, and communication solutions to small to medium-sized family-owned and operated wineries and related businesses.
And the last example I'm going to give is I do a voiceover introduction for the week using the same material that the students see on the website. This is Pat Lundeen, instructor for Wine Industry Exploration, winter term 2010.
Well, Pat, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your course with us. We really appreciate that.
I'm glad to do it.
Thanks for coming. Viewers, I want to invite you to watch your inbox for the next installment in our series on media, which will be our e-zine entitled Hubble. Hubble will be a follow-up to this KHUB chat, and will include more examples of things faculty are doing with media in their courses, as well as some helpful tutorials and lists of resources that will help you if you want to incorporate some of these things in your classes. Oh, and about the wine bar, I think we're a little late on that, and that won't work out for today. If I were you, I would not be calling our support lines anytime in the next couple of hours, but maybe we'll have better luck next time here on KHUB. See you then.